Hey guys, welcome to Squadron TV. Today I've got a good friend of mine, Jan Bobek, who's going to be joining us in just a moment. He's from Eduard Models, and today he's going to be telling us all about this new model kit from Eduard. This is a 1/48 scale Japanese Zero, their Kamikaze limited edition. So let's check this out, see what he has to say. I really hope that you guys are going to pick one of these up. It's a super nice model kit, and I'm excited to see what Jan's got to say about it. Let's check it out. Hello, Jan. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. And you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, buddy. It's great to see you. Glad to have you here with me today. I hope that you have had a good day on your side of the world.
Yeah, I had. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Edward has a very exciting new release this month, this week, actually, for us. We will be able to hold those in our hands here by the time this video posts for everybody to see. I will have seen it. And this, of course, is your new 48 scale Zero kit.
Right. And it's not one zero, it's actually dual combo with two different zeros.
Right. So two complete model kits inside the box.
Right, right.
Yep.
And the name of the release is Kamikaze Tokkotai, Imperial Japanese Navy Special Attack Units.
Okay.
And that is the focus of the release. And there is zero A6M5 Type 52, and there is a two-seater trainer A6 M2-K. So that's what inside. So usually we have dual combo with two sets of screws of the same kit, but in this case there are two different kits inside of that box.
I see. Well, that's kind of exciting. Is this a first for Edward?
It's a good question. No, no.
Okay.
At least once we had edition Samurai in 48 scale, and
Okay.
there we had zero type 32 and zero type 22. So there are also two different zeros.
I got you. Well, either way, this is not the normal dual combo kit. Like you said, usually you get two of the same kit and you just get different markings, but this time you're getting two completely different kits
Right.
in the box. So that's very cool. Now, and of course, this is all new tooling. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's a new tooling. Yeah.
Okay. How long has this been in the works, so to speak? When did this first start being worked on?
The zeros in, 48 scale zeros in our team are being prepared continuously since 2020.
Okay.
And so some design was already done, and we were working on the tools, on the molds during the past 12 months, preparing injection molds, preparing the electrodes, testing all kind of stuff. So yeah, it took some time, and now we are ready to make modelers happy.
Well, that is great. Well, it's certainly an exciting month for sure, and it's really an exciting year so far for Eduard because this a new tooling Zero 48 scale is being released shortly after another new tooling, a P40 and 48 scale, which has been an excellent kit so far. So you guys, you've got it going on this year, and I'm sure you've got some more surprises later in the year that we will all be excited about.
Yes, we have some surprises, some new toolkits. We will talk about it later on. But but back to the zeros. I wanted to make clear one thing. There is one of the zeros in this release, in this Kamikaze Tokotai, is the A6M5 type 52. So that's the basic 52 model, and that means it has two cannons in the wing with ammunition drums. Yeah, and it has two machine guns, 7.9 millimeters, in the engine cowling. So that means that it's still not the model 52 of the later modifications, 52A, 52B, 52C. That's very popular. 52C is that zero with the four barrels in the wing. Yeah, and it's also not yet the night fighter, which is having the cannon mounted through the rear part of the canopy. All those zeros will come later on, and we will later on release also A6M7. So that's very late war zero.
I was wondering, I was going to ask, because this is a new tooling, you've got to get a lot of use out of it. So I was going to ask if you will have future versions. Uh,
The thing is that for those future versions, we will have different fuselage parts and different wing
okay.
parts. We try to make life of modelers comfortable, so we are not going in a way that we have all kind of inserts, yeah, to upgrade your or to convert or modificate your main plastic parts of the wing and
Right,
fuselage. So we make our life more difficult. That means that we are producing more molds, more plastic sprues.
right.
So those different zeros with different main parts will come later.
I see. Well, that'll be exciting. Now, going back to your P40 for a moment, first you did a Royal class, and now you've followed up with the Pacific Stars version, the
Right,
limited edition version,
right.
and those are pretty back to back. Will we see another Zero release pretty soon? Is it
Uh,
already in the works, or is it going to be a little bit further out for the second Zero release?
uh, in terms of the next zero release, little bit later this year, we will
Okay.
release the Profi Pack version of the two seater.
Okay, that'll be good. You've got um, a lot more zeros coming. Now, this one, and I think you mentioned it a moment ago, but I'll ask so you can talk about it. You've got the two different zeros in the same box. Are
Right.
those two different zeros going to be offered individually if you only wanted one of them?
Yes, later on we will offer them individually, and one of the zeros in this release is a two-seater
Okay.
A6M2-K, and we will release Profipack version of this two-seater sometimes in a third quarter of this year.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this, Jan. Talk to me about your interest in Japanese aviation. Where does this love for these planes come from?
Um, I I would say that it's not only me. It's many people in the company. A lot of Czech modelers and a lot of Czech producers are really focused to the history of Japanese aviation, and it's
Okay.
and it started in the 1968 when we were
Okay.
trying to get a little bit of freedom behind Iron Curtain, and in that year, the Czech translation of the memoir of Saburo Sakai, the fighter ace, was published in Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
So that's how we got like first insight into the personal story of the Pacific War, and then we got all kind of books published in Czech language about the Pacific War. Um, and since the 90s, more and more books were published and people got really interested in. And long story short, we simply love zero.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that answer. There's a lot of things that I'm interested in, and there's no explanation other than I just like it. So,
Yes, yes, and I understand your question because we are getting this question from Japan. So the Japanese
okay.
modelers are asking why a Czech company is producing zero, and why are you producing special edition dedicated to the Kamikaze? airmen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Kamikazes on your premiere release. Where did that decision come from?
Well, it's very significant part of the story of the Pacific War. Uh, right now, we are producing this video in a early April, so it's basically 80 years since the start of the invasion on the Okinawa, and it's almost exactly 80th anniversary of start of Kamikaze campaign Operation Kikusui. uh, so that's a big part of the story, and the Kamikaze campaign was surprising for U.S. Navy and their allies, and it meant a lot of losses, a lot of stress, and we will talk about it maybe a bit later, but um, really, this is a significant part of the story of World War II. Yeah. And one more thing is that there are a lot of details about the Kamikaze campaign that are misunderstood outside of Japan. Yeah. Because you can hear stories, and I have done a couple of seminars here, and I always ask, if I mention a kamikaze airman, what are your first impressions? And the people say, oh, they were on narcotics, they were drunk, they were chained to their seats, and or they were locked in their cockpits and so on, and they were fanatics. And that's not true. We decided to present this topic and explain it in this edition with the historical chapter, which is in the beginning of the instruction booklet.
Okay.
So together with my colleague and author of books about Japanese aviation, Martin Ferkel, we have prepared a text which is explaining what was behind the Kamikaze campaign, because it might be surprising. A, a big part of the Japanese leaders did not want to do that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it was to sacrifice a Japanese soldier in the battle, to send a Japanese soldier to the task where there was no chance to return. It was taboo. It was basically forbidden. Uh, Even during the attack on the Pearl Harbor, for all airmen and for all crews of those small submarines, there was evacuation plan. Yeah,
Okay.
and so till the Battle of the Philippine Sea, the Battle of Marianas, till
Right.
that moment, it was basically taboo. And so there were some unit commanders and airmen who were lobbying for that. And they were saying, hey, we are attacking US Navy task forces. We get massive losses. So we will die anyway. So why don't you allow us to crash into the ships? And the Japanese command always say, no, no, we want you to get back. And this discussion was longer than 1 year. And after the huge losses during the June 1944 Battle of Philippine Sea, only after that, then Japanese Navy Command started to do some preparations, but His Majesty Emperor was still against that. The Prime Minister was against that, and other people were against that. Vice Admiral Onishi, who was successor of the Admiral Yamamoto in terms of the leadership of Japanese Navy uh, aviation, Onishi was also against that for a long time. But
Hmm.
it's a little bit ironic that during the defense of the Philippines in October of 1944, uh, the U.S. Navy and Royal Navy uh, already destroyed so many Japanese airplanes at Taiwan and at Philippines. It was about 1,200 destroyed planes. That the Japanese Navy Air Force had so few planes left that it was paradoxically, the Onishi, who was originally against that idea. So Onishi was local commander, and he had 100 planes left, but 100 planes of all kind of categories. Fighters, bombers, transports, and so on.
Right.
And so he was the unlucky one to approach one of the units in the Philippines and ask them, gentlemen, we are in very bad situation. We have huge invasion force coming from the east. We have almost no planes. We have to do something, and we have to, unfortunately, do the extreme measure. And they asked the airmen to volunteer for that. And then when they were discussing in the headquarters of the unit, okay, and what we will do if they will not volunteer, and then okay, then we are really in trouble. So they led their airmen to sign for the task in envelopes or something like that. So it was not anything like step forward or raise your hand or something like that. It was anonymous.
Right.
And the airmen, the veterans, they were not rookies or not students who were pressed to do that. Those were the seasoned veterans. They were so frustrated after several years that the command had more volunteers than airplanes. Yeah.
Wow.
So and from the very beginning, it was not only about veterans, but it was also about the members of the really top class Navy families. For instance, the son of the captain of battleship Musashi, he
Hmm.
volunteered as well,
Wow.
and he did not know that his father died during the Battle of Leyte Gulf. The Musashi was sunk, and,
Right.
and and the captain died, and his son did not know that. In spite of that, he volunteered that he will die as a kamikaze airman. Because
Hmm.
so it was extreme measure uh, how to oppose a huge invasion or a landing force with the very limited resources.
Right.
And this is
That is
covered in the story, so modelers will read more there because
right. So, but this story and this research that you've included is included in the instructions inside the model kit, right?
yes, there is the history of the Japanese Navy Zero Kamikaze units.
Okay. Well, good.
And
I look forward to reading that.
yeah, and you can also read it right now in our info magazine online.
Okay. Okay.
And there are a little bit more photos, and there are also detailed stories of the airplanes that are included as a decal options in the booklet. But
Okay.
don't allow me to talk too much about it because we would be
Oh,
here,
it.
you know,
Yeah. No, it's very
4
interesting.
hours.
I appreciate that. Well, uh, getting back to the model kit itself, you just mentioned decals. So let's talk a little bit about what decal options we're looking at inside this kit.
Yeah. I would say the most important kamikaze airman is, or the most famous one is probably Lieutenant Yukio Seki, Yukio
Okay.
Seki, who was the first commander of the first kamikaze unit of the Japanese Navy Air Force, and it's 99% sure that it was this Lieutenant Seki who sunk aircraft carrier USS Sentinel on October 25th, 1944.
Okay.
So that's one of the important planes and the names there. We have also one of the airmen who attacked USS Bunker Hill on May 11, 1945, of
Okay.
Okinawa, and very cool decal options and painting schemes are two-seater zeros, because we have a mix of the zeros from the training units that were
Okay.
later on assigned with the task to create kamikaze units, and we have there also two-seater zeros that participated in the kamikaze attacks.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting mix of history, colors, and markings.
Oh, sure. Well, the just the fact that you've got two different kits in the box, you've got all these different decals. It's I'm looking forward to seeing inside the box myself, just to see
Yeah.
how all this comes together. It sounds very interesting. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And then there are all kind of details about the two-seater zeros in the text descriptions
okay,
because we explained there the all kind of different color instructions that came from
right,
the higher command, and we also explained there because people sometimes think that the kamikaze pilot was any pilot just who got the task go there and crash into the ship. No, that was not the way how it was done. We described there also the training and a number of different flights that were needed during the training to train a kamikaze uh, pilot.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting because, like you just said, most people, myself included, you think of the kamikazes, and you're right. You think, okay, fly your plane and go run into that ship.
Yeah.
But I didn't consider the fact that they needed to be trained. Where do you fly into the ship,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. So it's very interesting.
And there is one more thing. In the spring of 1945, there were all kind of uh, new pilots, rookies who needed to be trained. Yeah.
Right.
At that time, in the spring 1945, the Japanese Navy Air Force and Army Air Force they were running out of the volunteers, so they were starting to push or press the pilots to do these missions. And there were members of the Japanese command who were saying, "Oh, wait a moment. We had discussions about whether to do those special attacks at all, and now we are giving orders to the aviators to do these missions. We used to do that based on volunteers, but now we cannot simply give order to somebody go there and die. So there and those members of the Japanese command say the Japanese public will never forgive us for this. And however, they were so far that other parts of the Japanese command just continued with that.
Right.
Uh, but I'm coming. Let's come back a little bit to the autumn of 1945, to the October
Okay.
1945, and the campaign in the Philippines, when the kamikaze missions were based on the volunteers. Those were veterans. So and those veterans, regardless were the officers of the non-commissioned officers, they during their training, during many years before that kamikaze campaign, during their mandatory training, they were serving on the ships. So they knew how the ship works. So when you
Okay.
gave to the Japanese Navy Air Force veteran the command, attack a ship, they knew, and the instruction for attacking the aircraft carrier was try to hit the central elevator or the forward elevator to disable the ship,
Okay.
and if you have chance to attack destroyer, cruiser, or battleship, try to hit the bridge to in order to kill the command of the ship. Yeah.
Right.
So that was basic training, and there were two different ways how to approach the target. Either with, in case of good weather, in the high altitude; in case of bad weather, very low over the water. And there were very precise instructions how to attack the ship in the last moment. And in terms of Battle of Philippines, we talk about, let's say, tens to hundreds of miles. Yeah, from the airfield to the target.
Right.
In terms of Battle of Okinawa, that Kamikaze planes had to take off either from South Japan or from Taiwan, and in both cases, it was 1,000 kilometers.
Okay.
So the
Wow.
Japanese airmen had very precise instructions. They had even instruction booklet how to how to how to fly to the target and how to successfully go around Okinawa Islands and how to most effectively hit the picket station destroyers or aircraft carriers, cargo ships, landing ships, and so on. It was very complicated. In the spring 1945, U.S. Navy was lucky to find out in the water this instruction booklet, and they translated the booklet very quickly, and they saw how precise are the instructions. And last thing I would like to mention, there were all kind of set of rules when the kamikaze airman shall abort the mission to save his
Okay.
life. Because if there was a risk that uh, he will be attacked by enemy and it was too far from the target, or if there will be technical problems with the airplane, they were instructed to abort the mission and return back. And even in the combat zone close to Okinawa, uh, there you can see it in the operational records of the U.S. and British airmen that in case of a lot of cases, the when they shoot down Japanese kamikaze plane, the airmen try to bail out to save their lives because they had chance that they will be rescued by the fishermen.
Okay.
So it's a very different
Oh,
story from
wow.
what people
Okay.
usually expect.
Huh. That is interesting. I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I can see up on your shelf behind you. You got one of the boxes sitting up there.
Oh yeah,
It looks
that's
yeah,
my shelf with
looks
the zeros.
there you go. I love it. Well, let's talk a little bit about just Eduard in general. Not only are you releasing a lot of new kits this year, but you've just launched your own digital magazine. You've just launched your own podcast. Tell us a little bit about everything that's going on with Eduard these days.
Yeah, we are very busy with the new projects in terms of plastic kits, in terms of improving our production of the 3D printed parts, uh, and basically what we try is to bring as many new tool releases this year as possible. So
Right.
my colleagues are busy with that. So in a May, we will have a new tool kit of 1 to 70 scale, second scale MiG 21 BIS,
Okay.
BIS. Then in July, we will have new tool 1 to 48 scale P40M.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes in autumn, we will have 1 to 48 scale kit, again, new tool MiG 21F.
Okay.
That was never released before in this scale by Eduard as well. And there will be some other new toolkits released during the winter and the beginning of next year. So
All right. Well, it sounds like this year's going to be full of all sorts of good releases. Now, outside of just your injection model kits, I mean, Eduard is still a huge part of your business is still your photo etch, your 3D printed parts,
yeah,
all of those accessories. And you've got dozens of new accessories every month,
yeah,
and that's going to continue, I'm sure. Accessories for other manufacturer kits. So you know, you don't have to just have an Eduard plastic model kit to enjoy Eduard's designs and their products. Just about every manufacturer from around the world, Eduard, you have some sort of aftermarket accessory and upgrade set that's coming out. So
yes.
we need to make sure and keep an eye on your new releases in that too.
Yeah, about 50% of our sales are in the accessories. So we are
Yep.
busy with that a lot in terms of the photo edge 3D printed parts. 3D decals, and other kind of accessories. Our colleagues are working on testing and purchasing of new printers. So we will be moving on
Okay.
to 16K printers, and we will expand in terms of their numbers. So
Good.
we will have a bigger capacity in
Oh,
that.
good. Very, very good. Now tell us about this new magazine.
Th- Thanks for this question. The magazine is called Eduard Modeller's Den,
Okay.
and it's online magazine. And it's paid magazine. Um, our regular monthly magazine info, that's what everyone knows. That's
Hmm.
still for free. You can download it for free. But the new magazine, Eduard Model's Den, it's done with different concept. There are always two main articles. There are several main columns. We try to bring their unique content, and if modelers purchase it, either individual issues or 6 months issues or 1 year subscription, they can get benefits from that subscription.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's something you guys need to go check out, and you can find that information at edward.com, of
Please
course.
read about
Yep.
history, guys. Read about
Yep.
history.
Yep. That's a big part of this hobby. We
Yeah,
love building our models, but learning the history behind these models is certainly a big part of the fun, at least for me, and I think a lot of other modelers as well.
yeah.
So, well, anything else, Jan? Is there anything else exciting going on that we need to know about as far as the world of Eduard goes right now?
Well, the one important thing is that our annual exhibition in Czech Republic called E-Day
Yep.
will take place in a new place, in an exhibition
Okay.
center in the north of Prague, a beautiful historical city called Litovněřice. Don't try to pronounce it unless you
I,
drank
I won't. I
unless
won't. Don't
you
worry.
drank 10 Czech beers. You will not be able to pronounce Litovněřice. Forget about it. Uh,
Okay.
and it's lovely city. A lot of nice restaurants, pubs, very nice exhibition center. We are pretty excited to move there, and we hope it will be more convenient for modelers. And there are all
Okay.
kind of very nice places around to visit.
Very good. Um, Speaking of shows, I hope and assume that Eduard will be in attendance at the IPMS Nationals this year as normal.
Yes, we will
Okay.
be, and my
Okay.
colleagues are preparing some very exciting surprises. I'm not sure whether I can disclose it right now, so
Okay.
sorry, guys, I will not tell you
We
more.
will be excited and we'll be on the lookout. That'll
Yeah,
be good. It's
I was
always good to
help,
see the Eduard team.
I was helping with some little historical details for one of those surprise releases.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. Well, we are certainly looking forward to seeing you guys again, this time in Virginia, I believe.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a cool place.
So, absolutely. Well, Jan, I really appreciate you coming on here with me today. And this Zero kit is fantastic. Like I said, by the time everybody's watching this video, they will be in stock here at Squadron. And looking forward to getting these out to the modelers because it certainly looks like a fantastic kit.
Thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. And I'm sending greetings from Czech Republic to everyone. And guys, build zeros, read about history, and have fun.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Jan. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.